मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यम् करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Let us chant also from this Laghu Vakya from this chapter 12.
Yes.
So we'll chant from 6th onwards. Vannitaptam jalam tapayuktam dehasya tapakam. Okay, 6th. Together. Vannitaptam jalam tapayuktam dehasya tapakam Chirpasyadhistada bhasayuktanyam bhasayekatha रूपादौ गुणदोषादि विकल्पा बुद्धिगा क्रियाः ता क्रिया विषयै सार्धम् भासयन्ति चितिर्मता रूपाच्च गुणदोषाभ्याम् विविक्ता केवला चितिः सैवानुवर्तते रूपरसादीनाम् विकल्पने क्षणे क्षणे यथा भूताः मुक्तासु सूत्रवद्बुद्धिविकल्पेषु चितिस्थिता मुक्ताभिरावृतम् सूत्रम् मुक्तयोर्मध्ये ईक्षते
तथा वृता विकल्पैश्चित् स्पष्टा मध्ये विकल्पयोः नष्टे पूर्वविकल्पे तु
यावदन्यस्य मोदयः
निर्विकल्पकचैतन्यम् स्पष्टम् तावद्विभासते
एकद्वित्रिक्षणेनैवम् विकल्पस्य निरोधनम् क्रमेणाभ्यस्यतान्यस्नात् ब्रह्मानुभवकाङ्क्षिभिः. So we are studying the verses of Laghu Vakya Vritti, which has 18 verses. It is a short Vedanta Prakarana of the larger work by Acharya Shankaracharya called Vakya Vritti. And Vakya Vritti unfolds two Mahavakyams. Yeah? Tattvamasi, you are that, Shuddha Bodhaha, and Aham Brahmasmi. In this shorter work, the Mahavakyam Aham Brahmasmi is unfolded. Yeah? And Mahavakyam, as I told you, comes in various texts, in various forms. Gita, also we have seen various prakaranas. So that is the vision of Vedanta. Okay? And here in this short text, the author is, what is the main aim is to differentiate between Shuddha Bodhaha, pure consciousness, and its appearance, its reflection in an upadhi. Yeah? The upadhi are the three bodies. Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, Shariram are the bodies. And the Shuddha Bodha is lending the light of awareness to these instruments. And so when the upadhi is lighted up, then there is the I notion and this notion. It's called Aham Vrittihi and Idam Vrittihi. Correct. Aham means now because the upadhi is made sentient, then there is a notion of I. Yeah, this is who I am. Because now that Shuddha Bodha has it appears to be confined to the Kshetram. Yeah? Then there is the notion of I. That this is me, this is my personality, this is the way I think, and this is my body. So that is called empirical consciousness or Bodha Abhasa, reflection of Shuddha Bodha. And here the author wants one to do Viveka between the two. Are you Shuddha Bodha or are you Bodha Abhasa? Both, very good. We are both. Because at the empirical level, I need to respond to the world. I'm a mother. Like I'm sick. I was sick. Fine. Then I have to take medicines, take the appropriate responses. For that you need the abhasa. Right? This, Bodha abhasa is there means there will be a transacting jiva who will be responding to the inputs. Yeah? But here, the Shastra wants to unfold that this is the Vyavaharika Satyam. Vyavaharika Satyam means it is only the relative Satyam. Why relative? Because it comes and goes. Yeah? It is subject to arrival and departure. You are not always sick. Yeah? You are not always an anekati. Yeah? You are not always a grandparent. You are not always working. So whether it is a status or the age or the avastha, whatever is changing, changing, that can only be in anatma, right? Yeah, but that the I that one places in the anatma is what is called bodha abhasa in this text, which is important because I should know how I'm feeling. I should be able to recognize people in my home to take appropriate, responses should be there. I have to go to work, take care of the family. So this Vyavaharika, at the Vyavaharika level, we are all Bodha Abhasa, right? Bodha Abhasas are all different, yeah? But then, what happens when I think I'm only the Bodha Abhasa? What is likely to happen? Stress. Like I was thinking since yesterday. Supposing I continue to think I'm sick. Then that I am sick, that will reinforce the body idea. Right? Now what we have to learn as students of Vedanta is the body is sick. It needs to detoxify or for whatever reason you had indigestion and that is. But I am not always sick. Yeah? And what the student of Vedanta will ultimately think, I am not sick also. I am Shuddha Bodhaha, Ajo Nitya Shashvatoyam Puranaha, Nahanyate Hanyamani Sharire. So, we are creating the distance between our own Upadhi and who I really am. Yeah? Shuddha Bodhaha and Bodha Abhasa. So, here what we have seen, the Acharya says, examine the three states, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Yeah? And is the Bodha Abhasa there in all the three states? Only two states, yeah. Jagrat and Swapna. Yeah. Jagrat and Swapna, when the mind is actively it is doing something. There will be always a knower, known and knowledge in the waking state and in the dream state. Now in the dream state, your Sula is not available. But you are, you are doing Vyavahara in a dream world. Right? Dream world with dream objects. You may have eaten a 6-course meal for dinner. Then when you sleep, you're hungry in the dream. Right? And then you have food, you have dream food to satisfy dream hunger. Yeah? And then that is the coming from where? From the mind. Yeah? But the mind is lighted up by the Shuddha Bodha. Right? So Shuddha Bodha is lighting up the mind in my waking state and allowing me to perform the functions and duties and everything. And then also in the dream state, it is projecting a dream world, and then there are dream transactions. Then what about Sushupti? Yeah. There is no Bodha Abhasa. Yeah, because the mind is switched off. That means what? Both the Sthula and Sukshma are withdrawn into the causal body, Karana Shariram. Yeah? And we saw Karana Shariram is ignorance. It is like everything is blanketed. Yeah, blanketed. But what is there even in that state? Shuddha Bodha. Right? So, the author says now discriminate. You are Bodha Abhasa in the waking state and Bodha Abhasa in the dream. But where is Bodha Abhasa in Sushupti? It's not there. So, you can't be the Bodha Abhasa. Because it is absent in one state and present in the other two. So you must be the Shuddha Bodha. So Shuddha Bodha is that pure consciousness. We saw the term Sakshi, the witnessing awareness, yeah, which is witnessing the presence and absence, the coming and going of everything. Yeah? And that which is lending the light. Okay? And so, then we saw that example, example of this jalam. Vanni taptam. Yeah, which number is that? 6. Yeah. So, just as the water which is heated up by the fire is borrowing heat from the fire. Fire is lending. So, fire is like Shuddha Bodha and water is like Abhasa. Abhasa, right? So then that heated water burns the skin, dehasya tapakam. So too our buddhi and the body, they are borrowing sentience from the Shuddha Bodha and then they can perform functions. Yeah? The mind can feel emotions, can take judgments and decide and transact with the world, all because of the lender of sentience, Shuddha Bodha. Yeah? Today we chanted this Ekashloki, no? So in Ekashloki, there is a very nice dialogue which I want to show you all. You can take that page if you want. So here the Guru asks the disciple, what is the light for you in the day? Like now, what is the light for us? Daylight, okay? The sun during the day. Then what is the light at night? Moon. Yeah, moon. It's going to be Purnima. We'll have a lot of light and stars or, artificial light like fire and so on. Then how do you, these sources of light, how do you know they are there? Eyes. Eyes, right? I told you if that eyesight is not there for a person, then these sources of light will not be available. Then that person has to rely on sound or touch, and then has to feel his way around and go places, right? So that's why Jnanendriyani. Then eye. Now, when the eye is closed, eye is not available, then I have to remember, the intellect, where and so on. Then what is the light for knowing the intellect? Who is illumining the dhi? Yeah, Shuddha Bodha. Yeah. So the Shuddha Bodha, which is illumining the intellect, is reflecting in the intellect. So that reflected sentience or consciousness is called Bodha Abhasa. Yeah? Just like the heated water doing the job of burning. Okay. Now, obviously, is this topic very abstract? And little, I think it's very abstract. Yeah.
But sometimes we understand by your
Explanation.
and examples.
Yeah, examples. Yes, correct. Examples. Yeah, correct. Huh? So, what we generally do in the beginning is, before studying a text, there is something called Anubandha Chatushtayam. You've heard of this, Anubandha Chatushtayam? I've written on Diamond Point. Huh? So there are 4 things we must consider before approaching the text. First is, what is the Vishaya? What is the topic of this text? Yeah, Vedanta. Okay. Vedanta. Or, Tat Padam is a topic, or pure consciousness, or, moksha, whatever. Then Adhikari. Who is eligible to read this, to study this text?
The one who is mumukshu.
Exactly. Mumukshu. And the one who is endowed with sadhana chatushtayam. Yeah. we have seen this sadhana chatushtayam is the qualifications needed for approaching any topic. Now, if you want to do advanced calculus, we need basic maths. Otherwise, we are not going to understand. So, even to approach this Jnana Yoga topics like Laghu Vakya Vritti, Kaivalya Upanishad, there has to be what? Adhikaritvam. Yeah? And that Adhikaritvam is defined in Tattvabodha as Sadhana Chatushtayam. And that starts with what? What is the first? D? Viveka. Discrimination. Let's go through the whole thing. Viharika, her birthday today, let her answer. Viveka. Shatka Sampati. And Shatka Sampati has?
In Shat Sampati, it has Shamaha, Damaha, Uparatihi, Titiksha. Wait a minute. Shraddha.
That often we forget that sixth one, Samadhanam. Okay, very good. So, sadhana chatushtayam is, it may sound very formidable, but it starts with viveka. So, for a person who has begun to discriminate, that there is, what is permanent in life? It's coming and going, temporary. Is there anything nityam or is everything anityam? That is the starting point. Yeah. So we would all have had this anubhava, no? At some point we would inquire, you see that this person has departed from the world, this has changed, this situation, in one moment things happen, then your mind is puzzled. So viveka. Then vairagyam. Vairagyam is a dispassion. Then we come to the sixfold virtues, which I'll do another time. It is mastering the sense organs, then the mind, and then having Shraddha. Shraddha in our scriptures and the Guru's words. Guru Vakeshu Shastreshu Satya Buddhi. Shraddha, and then Samadhanam is having that one-pointedness, and Titiksha also, forbearance. Like here, we need forbearance when you're sick, So we have to have Titiksha. Then here also, we are not connected with the world. So we can be very frustrated. Like I have to call that Trishul Swami. I'm stuck with no contact. I can't contact anybody or do what you do. No emails, no WhatsApp, no calling and all. So we need Titiksha. We are in a place where we don't have access. Right? Exactly. So the one who can see this as a blessing in disguise is blessed. Really. See how the mind, we are conditioned, to comfort, conveniences and internet. So it's, I think, very important to do this mobile fasting and to stay at least once a week. I seriously think we should do that, no? That is Titiksha and Samadhanam and all that. Then last is Mumukshutvam. Yeah? In that 4 Ds we saw sadhana. Mumukshutvam is a desire for moksha. Yeah? Desire for moksha is the one who wants liberation. Now this is called sadhana chatushtayam. Okay? And the one who is endowed with this in some measure is the adhikari for a Vedanta text. Okay? Then prayojanam. What is the benefit of studying a text?
Knowledge.
Yes, knowledge, exactly. Yeah, knowledge.
Clearance is there.
Yeah,
Gets cleared.
it gets cleared, yes.
Otherwise, Amma, I was saying to Viveka, I started thinking again on birth, again schooling only, again.
Again, ABC, 1, 2, 3.
Put to an end.
Yeah. No, she is right, it's no laughing matter. Really. And this is what Shankaracharya says in Bhajagovindam. Punarapi chananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam, iha samsare bahudustare, kripaya pare pahi murare, Bhajagovindam. Very strong text, Bhajagovindam.
That once you should do it, ma'am.
I will do that.
I
Yes.
really wanted
In
to.
fact, I could have done that in this camp, but anyway, it was not meant to be. So there, Shankaracharya is like an admonishing parent. He says, what are you doing, dwelling in sense pleasures? Wake up, and you are just going round and round, and it says that, very strong examples he will give. Like one is when a person is young and earning, the husband comes home, then he is given 5-star treatment. The wife says, Vango, Vango, here is coffee ready for you, vada, paisam, you must be tired. And he has brought flowers for her and all that. Then once he is retired, will he get the same treatment? The wife will say, நான் வேலையா இருக்கேன், ஃப்ரிட்ஜில் பால் இருக்கு, நீங்களே கலந்துக்கோங்க காஃபி. Now, this may not be the scene in our homes, but Shankaracharya takes the extreme scenario, it is called Moha Mudgara. Bhajagovindam is also called the hammer of delusion, which is going to hammer the. So this is called to awaken dispassion, and that is the
It's the other way around.
other way around.
When the woman also is equally earning, Shankaracharya's time maybe.
Yes, something. Yeah, yes, correct.
It's only household.
Yeah. Then Sambandha. Sambandha, that is again this, the phalam, the phalam is moksha, and that is how I'm going to benefit is that this book is revealing to me my true nature, Shuddha Bodha, and gaining which I will be liberated. So this is the Anubandha Chatushyam, Vishayaha, Adhikari, Sambandha, and Prayojanam. Now, we'll come to the text. We are in the concluding section of the text here. 13th. So, you see, in a remote area like this, Anekati, we are cut off from the lot of vyavahara, right? From our profession, from our families, from the city life, Then the dhi vikalpas also will be less, And when the dhi vikalpas, that means the cognitions in the buddhi, I have to do this, and I have to do that, I have to go there, laundry, shopping, this, that. When it is not there, then Acharya says there is a greater possibility for us to cognize the Shuddha Bodha. If there are hundreds of vrittis running around, jumping around in the mind, then we have to find the space between two vrittis. Now, after the first vritti has ended, and before the next thought comes, you catch that moment, even if it's just for one kshanam. Then, okay, one kshanam is too small. Okay, then make it 2 kshanam. But 2 kshanam, you get a glimpse into the Shuddha Bodha. Then increase it to 3 and to 4 and so on. And we saw that in that verse about the mala. Just as the sutra goes through the beads, so too the Shuddha Bodha is connecting the beads of all the jiva, jantus, avasthas and states. That's the last thing we did, I think. And for all this, what is needed is yatnam, effort. Now, how much effort? What will it depend upon? Nirantaram. There is a Sanskrit saying, Asupte amaranam yatnam kurmaha. We should put the effort till we drop off to sleep, because their effort ceases, and up to the last moment of our life. Yatna. But again, I told you the sadhana chatushtayam. Then if we are not able to understand a text, or we get stuck somewhere, then we have to check again, is my shraddha up to the mark? Am I a mumukshu? Is there viveka, vairagyam? Is there titiksha? So we have to upgrade ourselves constantly. That is why for a uttama adhikari, it is just in a flash we'll get this aham brahmasmi knowledge. For a madhyama adhikari, middling aspirant, it will take time. And for a adho adhikari, adhama adhikari, it will be take much longer, this life or lifetimes. So there is a comparison of a wood. Now dry wood catches fire instantly. Wet wood has to dry first. And then charcoal will very long time to be lighted up. So that is the Adhikaritvam and the text all about. Now let's go to the new verse today, which is 13, no? Okay, 13. सविकल्पक जीवोऽयम्
सविकल्पक जीवोऽयम्
ब्रह्मस्य निर्विकल्पकम्
ब्रह्मस्यानिर्विकल्पकम्
सविकल्पक जीवोऽयम् ब्रह्मस्य निर्विकल्पकम्
सविकल्पक जीवोऽयम् ब्रह्मस्यानिर्विकल्पकम्
अहं ब्रह्मेति वाक्येन
अहं ब्रह्मेति वाक्येन
सोऽयमर्थोऽभिधीयते
सोऽयमर्थोऽभिधीयते
अहं ब्रह्मेति वाक्येन सोऽयमर्थोऽभिधीयते
अहं ब्रह्मेति वाक्येन सोऽयमर्थोऽभिधीयते
Together. सविकल्पक जीवोऽयम्
ब्रह्मस्यानिर्विकल्पकम् अहं ब्रह्मेति वाक्येन सोऽयमर्थोऽभिधीयते
Yeah. Savikalpaka jivaha ayam. Yeah. Ayam means this. Yeah. This is Savikalpaka jivaha. This jiva. Ayam jivaha is Savikalpakam. Now Savikalpaka means with vikalpas. Yeah. With vikalpa. Now, see, what is my understanding of myself now? How do I view myself? Do I view myself as limited being? Do you, one will usually say I am sick or young or old or female or housewife or parent, mother, grandparent, official, engineer, right? Tall, dark, short, fat, whatever. Yeah. This is called the Savikalpakaha Jivaha. Anatma. Identified with the Anatma. Yeah. Savikalpaka. Because only when you are identified with the Upadhi, that is the bodies, yeah, you can only be identified with Sthula and Sukshma, not Karana. Then there are these limited notions. Yeah, limited notions and how I identify myself. This is called conditioning. Yeah. Now here, you have this pot, the famous pot example. Here there is the space. Remember, is there anything in the pot? You should not say nothing. Space is there. Because space is the subtlemost product. Space is there in the pot. Now, is space there in the room?
Yes.
Yeah. Outside the room?
Yes.
In your stomach? There is always space for one more laddu. Stomach can expand somehow. So, space is universal, right? Now, just imagine this space here. We'll call it pot space. The pot space thinks that I'm only this much. I'm confined by this. Yeah? Savikalpaka jivaha. Kupamanduka. Yeah.
It thinks that only that is the Akasha.
That's little different, I'll tell you later. The space is, here the pot space thinks it is defined by the dimensions of the pot. And it says, I'm such a mini, look at the room space. It is defined by a bigger dimension. And then Anikati space is even bigger. Then extraterrestrial space is even bigger. So the Upadhi is defining the space. Yeah. So here the Savikalpakaha Jivaha is the conditioned consciousness. Just like the space is confined, but only appears to be confined by a pot. So too, we appear to be confined by the Upadhi, the bodies. And when that happens, then we are Savikalpakaha Jivaha. You got the picture? I am Savikalpakah Jivaha. But then what is it? Reality, Brahmasyat Nirvikalpakam. Yeah. But now, by the Guru's grace, Guru Parampara's grace, one has understood that Brahmasyat Nirvikalpakam. I am really Shuddha Bodhaha or Nirvikalpakam Brahma. That limitless Brahma. Just like if this, the space thinks, I am within, I am without also, outside also. I am universal space. No? Space appears to be conditioned. But then, I am the universal space. Pot space is equal to universal space means the Savikalpakaha Jivaha has understood that I am Nirvikalpakaha Brahma. Got it? Now here in this verse, did you notice? We are back to neuter Brahma Shabda. Brahman, Nakaranta, Napunsakalinga refers to Shuddha Bodhaha. Then Chitihi was feminine word. Yeah? And for masculine, Bodhaha. Yeah? Bodha appears to be a favorite word of Acharya in this text. So Savikalpakah Jivaha Ayam Brahmas. Brahmasyat Nirvikalpakam. Yeah? So one has realized. Now how has one come to this understanding? I am Nirvikalpam Brahma. Vakyena. Next line. Aham Brahma iti Vakyena. That is Aham Brahma Asmi. By the Guru Upadesha, the teachings of the Upanishads, one has understood by this Mahavakya. Aham Brahma Asmi. That is how we made the jump from Savikalpaka Jivaha to Nirvikalpaka Brahma. No? Now, we should not think that we are a split personality. Who am I? Am I Savikalpaka or Nirvikalpaka? You are both. Yeah? And when you transact with the world, you are Savikalpaka Jivaha. No? Then you have, even your mother, you are a mother. Right? And we respect the relationships. No, it has to be appropriate. That will only happen when we are identified as a jiva. But my true understanding says that when you're caught up in the roles, when you're caught up in anatma, then there will be samsara. Will continue. We will get entangled. There will be stress and tension if you don't do it in an objective manner. So here Shastra is pointing out that what is your true identity? Are you this jiva who is coming back again and again in the round of births and deaths? You are Nirvikalpaka Jiva. That is Nirvikalpaka Brahma, sorry. Not Jiva anymore. And how did one gain the understanding? Aham Brahma iti Vakyena. By understanding the Mahavakyam, Aham Brahma Asmi. And that is Saha Ayam Arthaha Avidhiyate. Avidhiyate means explained. Yeah? This has been explained. What has been explained? The Artha. The Tatparyam or the vision of the Shastra has now been explained. So now looks like Acharya is winding up, summing up. Yeah? So far we saw examples, definitions of the bodies, definition of Shuddha Bodhaha, then what is the connection, reflected consciousness and pure consciousness, and then how to reduce the vrittis, and then now, have you understood that there is a Savikalpakaha Jiva, which is borrowing light from the Nirvikalpaka Brahma. Okay?
So, Acharya initially, I am Kshetrajnaha in this Kshetram. From that to I am Kshetrajnaha. We are moving towards that.
Ah, yes. Yeah. See, in the Gita, no, you talk about. Yeah. So, initially we are identified with the Kshetram. Right? Idam Shariram Kaunteya. That's why Krishna has said Idam, not Mama Kshetram. So, I have to replace my body with how? This body. Even by just saying that, I can see it as an object, the body. If I say my body, means subjectivity will be there. No? But then in the Gita, we have to discover that we are not the Kshetram, but we are Kshetrajnaha. Kshetrajnaha is Shuddha Bodha. But Shuddha Bodha in one body. Okay? Shuddha Bodha is like universal space. But Kshetrajnaha is like pot space. They are the same. But when you're referring to one upadhi, you say Kshetrajna. That's the only difference. The technical difference. But you're right, Kshetrajna is Shuddha Bodha.
Name Brahma is Shuddha Bodha.
Correct. Nayam Brahma is Shuddha Bodha. Yeah. But when on a personal level, you say you own up, I am Shuddha Bodha, then that is Kshetrajna. Like the space in the pot. So here it is said that now one has gained the vision of Shuddha Bodha, which is Aham Brahma Asmi, Mahavakya, and this Tatparya has been explained. Saha ayam arthaha abhidhiyate. The next one also continues with this. Number 14. Savikalpakachityoham
सविकल्पकचिद्योऽहम्
Brahmaikam nirvikalpakam
ब्रह्मैकम् निर्विकल्पकम्
Swatasiddha vikalpaste
स्वतसिद्धा विकल्पास्ते
Nirodhavyah prayatnataha
निरोधव्याः प्रयत्नतः
Savikalpakachityoham Brahmaikam nirvikalpakam
सविकल्पकचिद्योऽहम् ब्रह्मैकम् निर्विकल्पकम्
Swatasiddha vikalpaste Nirodhavyah prayatnataha
स्वतसिद्धा विकल्पास्ते निरोधव्याः प्रयत्नतः
Yeah. So Savikalpakachit Yaha Aham Brahma Ekam Nirvikalpakam. Savikalpakachit is Bodha Abhasa. Okay. The chit which is connected with the Anatma. Okay. Savikalpakachit Yaha Aham. That is this reflected consciousness which is changing. Modifications. Yeah. That I am. Yeah. Is really what? Brahma Ekam Nirvikalpakam. Is really the one pure consciousness is Brahma. Yeah. That is why we have these orders of reality. What are the orders of reality? 3 orders. Vyavaharika Satyam, Paramarthika Satyam, and one more? Pratibhasika Satyam. Yeah. Vyavaharika Satyam is the empirical world. I transact. No, for that I need to be the Savikalpaka Jiva. Very clear about that, right? But then, and Pratibhasika is like dream, projection. No? So even in the Vyavaharika Satyam, when I jump to a conclusion which is not true, it is Pratibhasika, a rope snake. Here it may happen in Anikati, I think. Snakes are around, by the way. And when you step on a rope, then you think it's a snake. That is Pratibhasika. It is not Vyavaharika. But then now the Shastras want to say that even beyond these 2 levels, empirical and Pratibhasika, there is Paramarthika Satyam. And that is Shuddha Bodha. Okay? Shuddha Bodha. So, Savikalpaka Chit Yaha Aham. Yeah? So, that I am now endowed with the intellect, with the body, and performing my roles and everything. But really, it is that Bodha Abhasa is Shuddha Bodha. Is really Shuddha Bodha. But we are caught up in what? In the reflection. Yeah? And not with the original, the OC. That is the main thing in this text. Yeah? Then Swatasiddhaha Vikalpaha Te. Swatasiddha means very obvious. These vikalpas that are happening, Nirodhavyaha, one must suppress. Yeah? Suppress means one must master. Yeah? Master the buddhi vikalpas. Yeah? So some, vrittis in the mind, we have to pursue it. We have to address them. But some we can just nip it in the bud. No? So like that we have to analyze which is has to be pursued, which has to be given up, and which has to be just witnessed. That is meant by nirodhavyaha. And how do we do that? Prayatnataha, with all the efforts. Yeah. So here, in all the efforts, yoga is included, all our fasting and spiritual disciplines, meditation, prayers, pujas, karma yoga, seva, japa. All this when we do, we are making the mind more and more sattvic, and the vrittis all come down, and then it becomes very, very clear. What is to be done has to be done. Okay?
This is easily said than done.
Ah, yes. Correct. Yes, and exactly. So, especially now when we go back to the city, Swamiji said the moment you put the key in the lock, all the vrittis will come back into the mind.
Also the gate itself.
Yeah. And then tension, stress will all come back. Definitely it will come back. Actually, this is a very short Laghu camp. So, barely we have come and settled here. And just when the mind starts to settle, it's time to pack your bag and return. That is why we have camps here for 7 days, 1 month, 3 months. So the longer you stay in an ashram, then you will be able to do all this. You will be able to watch the mind, how it settles down. And I have all mixed priorities, I don't need to do that. And what should be my top priority? Everything, you gain a clarity. Yeah. Then
Change will be
definitely. It's not useless coming here. Definitely. I am trying to emphasize and inspire you to come for longer stays. Yeah.
But as long as emergency calls should be allowed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Otherwise
Otherwise difficult. Yeah.
especially for doctors.
Doctors.
Kind of
Mobile is
emergency.
like Kshetrajna, madam, because he is not lighting up our mobiles. And
I know.
our cottage Kshetras.
Yeah.
Only when we go to the temple,
Yeah.
Kshetrajna is lighting up the mobile.
But one thing is there, if there is true surrender, see, we come to a place where there is no connectivity, okay? Then I just surrender. Then don't you think? Exactly. So don't you think Bhagavan will rearrange the parameters to take care of things that should be taken away? You are feeling responsible. I have to be connected and I have to do.
5 years back, there was no call. I told them already.
Yeah.
There is no call, everything is fine. I could not make any call.
If there is no call, but you cannot call.
I cannot call, I don't want to call also because everything is fine. From everything except any medical emergency.
Correct. Yeah. No, I understand. Yes. So now, what the point I'm trying to make is that when you're here, the mind is quiet anyway. But when you return, you have to create an ashram-like atmosphere. That means what you said, meditation is the most important. You have to sit for some time, and even if it is crazy around you, just sit for some time and just recall a verse or two from the Gita, or do some mantra repetition, or the Laghu Vakya Vritti. You bring it to the mind, and 15 minutes, then 20 minutes, half an hour. Then you go back to Vyavaharika Satyam, right? But you have to dwell on Paramarthika Satyam and then increase the durations. Once a day you do meditation, then it can become twice a day, it can be 10 minutes. First start with the
The quality of
weekends.
meditation here is so different from back home.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
things happening.
Yeah. Because, the air is charged there. We are, the city is Rajasic, no doubt about it, and Tamasic also. Then even in our home, there will be a quality difference. In the bedroom, you will feel sleepy. In the kitchen, you will feel hungry. And you will feel a difference in the vibration. So you have to keep one area only for meditation. Can be a puja room or a corner of the house where you don't do other things like mobile phone and reading the newspaper, magazines, or you play with your grandchildren. No, you do nothing there except meditation. Then when you sit, you will develop that clarity. Yeah? Then when you are charged with the vrittis of the world and of daily life, you will have that calmness to deal with that. Yeah? and it won't be reaction, but it will be action. Yeah, we need to act and respond and not react. Yeah? So this bodha abhasa will be constantly reacting, no? And then getting caught up in the stress of our rules, and then tension, city tension, maid did not come, children are like this, and all this. So that is the idea here. So this is a Nididhyasanam Grantha. Nididhyasana means Vedantic meditation. That means you have to take up some Nididhyasanam shlokas or a Grantha and contemplate on it. So that this Vyavaharika you, that idea should not be so strong as it is now. How deeply entrenched we are now with this identity. I am female, I am a Swamini, I am sick, or I am young or old, I was born on this date. This is all coming and going, very deeply entrenched. Next shloka in fact is going to say that just as how strongly you feel your Vyavaharika, Savikalpaka Jiva is strong in you, that much it should be I am Brahma. You should have the I am Brahma, that notion strong. Just like
It should overtake.
it should overtake, yeah. Just like right now, you very strongly believe I am a woman, right? That's it. I am a woman is so strong in us because of the anatomy. We are identified with that. Like that I am Brahma, Vritti has to be strong. I think that comes in the next one. Let's go to that. 14 over, no? Yeah, 15. Shakya sarva nirodhaschet Samadhirjnaninam priyaha Shakya sarva nirodhaschet Samadhirjnaninam priyaha Tadashaktau kshanam rudhva Tadashaktau kshanam rudhva Shraddheya brahmatatmanaha Shraddheya brahmatatmanaha Together. Shakya sarva nirodhasche
Samadhirjnaninam priyaha Tadashaktau kshanam rudhva Shraddheya brahmatatmanaha.
Yeah. So, Shakyah chet. Shakyah sarva nirodhaha chet samadhihi jnaninam priyaha. Tat ashaktau kshanam rudhva shraddheya brahmatat manaha. So here it is said that jnaninam priyaha. What is dear to the jnanis? Jnaninam priyaha? Samadhi. Yeah? Like the perfect example in our times is Ramana Maharishi. No? Just 50 years, just meditation on Arunachala in a state of Samadhi. But that does not mean that the great, Maharishi was not functional. But the Vyavaharika Satyam was very, very minimal. He would, I think, not even answer questions, or maybe he did, I'm not sure. But people would come and sit in the presence and they'll be free from the fears and their questions also. And briefly he would answer. One question is, how to be focused and how to gain the knowledge of the self. Then his answer was simply, Vandavari po. How did you come here? That means what you are now, you would retrace your path back to the pure source.
Who am I?
Self.
Go back.
Who am I? Yeah. Where did you come from? Do Karana Vichara. Right now we are all doing Karya Vichara only, Karya Vichara, what shall I buy? How should I organize this feast? What is the menu I should be planning? It's all Karya Vichara, Which the body needs some food, give it some food. Fuel is needed, But Karana Vichara is what Shastra wants us to, who am I and where did all this come from, Jagat, and so on. So that samadhi state does not mean, not conscious anymore. Yeah, it means there is a perfect mastery and balance of the mind. Yeah, and where there is a total abidance in the self. This is called Sahaja Samadhi. Sahaja Samadhi means you are perfectly aware of Shuddha Bodhaha. Yeah? And you are aware of the Vyavaharika reality around you also. Jnanis. Jnaninam Priyaha is what Samadhi. Then, Shakyaha Chet Sarva Nirodhaha. If it is possible to put an end to all these, vikalpas in the mind. Is it possible, first of all? Very difficult. No? But it is said that if one is able to do that, put an end to the dhi vikalpas, then there will be samadhi which is very dear to jnanis. Yeah? Now, see the Gita, we have studied that verse, no? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atman evatmana tushtaha sitaprajnasya dochyate. That sitaprajna is this jnani talked about here. So, do you think a jnani will not have vrittis in the mind? There will be few vrittis at least. It's so sattvic. The vritti of hunger will come to a jnani also. Okay, now, it's time to give some fuel to the body. That vritti will be there. The jnani can choose to fast or to fulfill that vritti or just watch it. So, prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. Whatever rises in the mind of a jnani, he is able to simply watch it and it will subside back. Yeah? If he needs to fulfill that vritti, he will do it. Yeah? Otherwise, simply watch. And that is the state of what is talked about here. If one is able to witness the vrittis, then there is a state of samadhi even in the waking avastha. Yeah? That is meant as samadhi, which is very dear to jnanis. But that ashaktau, that is us. If this is not possible, that ashaktau, then kshanam rudva shraddheya brahmatatmanaha. Then even for one moment, 2 moments, you are able to do that, then you will realize the brahmatmanaha, the Brahma Bhava. Okay? So, if that is not possible at the absolute level, then with Shraddha, let us try to master the mind moment by moment. Now, one by one.
That Brahma Kumari example you used to say. Brahma Kumari.
That alarm.
You used to say, no? Every 1 hour, 1 minute they move.
Yes. See, the Brahma Kumaris, they have a nice system, to induce more detachment in our daily life. So we're working on the laptop and, cooking or whatever, gardening, And every full hour, there will be a music siren. And they just stop. And you just stop for 2 minutes and just watch or don't do that, continue that. So the idea is that we don't want to be too entangled in the activity. Yeah? And to be well anchored in Shuddha Bodhaha and then continue with what is to be done. Okay? Now for sannyasis and these jnanis, they will not have much vyavahara, as you know by now. No own family. So there will be more time for shravanam, mananam. And it's the same true for most of you in the vanaprastha stage. Also, you will not have that many vrittis, right? They will be at a manageable level. Yeah. But in the childhood, brahmacharya and grihastha stage, there will be a lot of vrittis. Yeah. Because there are more people you are responsible for. No? And then it will cause buddhi vikalpas in your mind. But, there are excellent examples of busy householders who have gained the samadhi. What is the example? You all know. Janaka. Janaka, or Modi ji. Janaka is a king, and administrative duties are there. He's married also, and in the palace and having to deal with the issues. Yeah, but at the same time, he is, very, very well anchored. There is many stories in the Upanishads about the great king Janaka. That once it seems a sadhu came, and challenged Janaka. He said, "How can you be? Why do they call you Raja Rishi? You are in the midst of luxury. Then how you can be called as a detached king? Then Janaka says, right now at this moment, come, let's go. I can abandon everything and go to the forest. Can you do that?" He asked the challenger. No. So that is the thing that meditation helps us to discover the attachments and the strings that are pulling us. Yeah.
Even Ramakrishna Paramahamsa.
Yeah.
That's the Ashram.
Correct. Yeah. Ramakrishna, Paramahamsa, Janaka. So there are very, very worthy exceptions. They may not be in the majority, but that is why you have to, especially as grahasthas, you have to take the time to meditate. Because you will have more vrittis than, sannyasis and vanaprasthis. But even vanaprasthis, we think they are retired, but what? People are worried. They are not prepared to contemplate and study the Shastra in the retirement. They will start another new business. They'll get worried and anxious, or my famous example, they'll be only grandparenting or great grandparenting. I have to go, and to America, California. My daughter is calling. My great granddaughter is getting married. Then even after 60, 70 plus, if you don't give time for your self-knowledge and you're involved in the families, then where is the time? Balastavat krida saktah tarunistavat tarunisaktah vriddhastavat chinta saktah parame brahmani kopina saktah bhaja govindam bhaja govindam. So that is the the mind is playing games. One couple had come to Puja Swamiji and said, "Swamiji, one question is, how long we should take care of our children?" Is there some yardstick? For Indian parents, never they will let go.
Another thing, Mama, if you start saying, I'm going to sit like this, doing nothing, they think you are getting mad. They say, they are good, reading all such things, this lady is getting mad.
In my house, they defined it long time back.
Anyway, let me tell you the answer first of Puja Swamiji. So Swamiji said, your duty as a parent is only to give a good education. That's all. Till you give them a good education, then leave them alone. Nowadays, even marriage, you don't have to bother, right? So then, after that, their children, you delegate and you say, it's your family. You take care, and if they live with you, you can delegate. You say that, you do the cooking and I will be in my portion, like that. So, we are so caught up in this. You see how the mind constantly wants to attach to a role, wants a role to define himself.
The dividing line.
Should be very clear, yes, yeah. Or you can do both, you can grandparent, but you have to also take time. And so, if the children and grandchildren or your partner sees this as a very selfish thing, how you can go for a camp and study this vague thing called moksha and Vedanta Grantha, then you say that, no, this is my hobby or something, you can say. Yeah? You say this is important to me. But you have to make it clear. And this is the problem, as older we grow, if we don't do this, we see what is likely to happen. There is no graceful aging. The worry and anxiety will multiply. No? Is it not? You will be worried about your grandchildren and then their grandchildren, their children, and so on. There is no end to it. Yeah. So here is the advice is to,
But we're all entitled to some freedom. Call it hobby or passion.
yes, exactly, yeah. Hmm? And this, huh?
Don't tell Hema. They should not think mad or anything, Hema. It's your wish, what you
Ah, yes. Yeah. So, because see, you are pursuing this knowledge because inside you there are those samskaras.
You find a value for this.
Why do you have a value for this? Because this is not the first time you're studying Vedanta. You've come a long way since your Anadikala. You have picked up the thread from where you left off in the previous birth. Right? So, I won't say hasten, no. They say hasten slowly. So, you have to be aware, of what is the goal and, of human life. Where did I come from? Where am I going? All these are scenes of drama, like that famous example of a train journey. Yeah? Train journey is I board a train. When did I board a train? At birth. The ticket is cut at birth. No, at birth I boarded the train called Jiva Yatra only in this team. And then people come aboard. At every station they board. And then we make friends, they exchange addresses and snacks and everything. Swamiji will say, I always sit next to Gujaratis. They will have a lot of snacks.
a big basket they will bring.
And that's true, When I went to Gujarat, I was amazed. Every breakfast there are 10 items, then lunch 10 items.
Rotis and all that, papad.
Yeah, teplas and everything. So,
Days together they store. They
Ah.
spoil also.
correct. So when other people,
That's the only state which has highest diabetic patients.
so when they, when the people board the train,
All over
at every station people are boarding the train and you are talking with them and exchanging and all that. Then the train proceeds and then at every station somebody gets off, somebody gets on. Then you also get off at some station and the train moves on, right? So who are you? You are the Jiva Yatri, and the people you are meeting on the train are whom you call your husband, your children, relatives, Sahayatris, yeah. And you are there only for some duration. Then they get off, and then your turn to get off comes, and then the train moves on. Yeah. So here, that clarity we need to have, and that is very important here.
While getting down, Amma, avava pava mutte, punya mutte,
And we never make a mistake, right? We don't take others' luggage. That means we exit this life only with my own papa punyam. Yeah? Everybody is responsible, is alone. That Ratnakara, that dacoit, he's asked, then he asks his wife for whom he is stealing and doing. Will you share? No, we are not connected with you. And so then he realizes that, we are all reaping our own fruits. Okay? Alright, so we have 3 verses, but let us chant these 3 and then we'll conclude for today, for now. From 13, 14 and 15. Savikalpakajivoyam brahmasya nirvikalpakam aham brahmeti vakena soyamartho vidhiyate savikalpakachiddyoham brahmaikam nirvikalpakam swatasiddha vikalpaste nirodhavya prayatnatah shakya sarva nirodhasche samadhirjnanilam priyah tadashaktau kshanam ruddhva shraddheya brahmatatmanah. Om swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गो ब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Just wait, everybody. See, this pujas I want to clarify.